Hello everybody. I'm going to give a really brief and introductory tutorial on how to use LiSa in ChucK. LiSa is an acronym or something. It stands for live sampling. So live sampling. And it works like a lot of the other UGINs and SDKs in ChucK. You can use it to do many sorts of recordings. Like for instance, you can record a sine wave into LiSa. Just call this mic. Or you can record the actual input of your computer by routing the ADC converter to LiSa and then routing that to your DAC. So that's what we're going to focus on. So let's go real slow here. So go ahead and open up a ChucK program if you want to follow along. So I'm going to do this from scratch. Let's call this LiSa intro. Cool. So in ChucK you always want to have your sound chain above. It's one of the first things you always do. When you're working with audio samples, what you always want to do is allocate memory for it. If you don't understand why, don't worry about it, because it'll make sense the more you do it. But for example, I want to create a buffer for my mic, and what that buffer is going to do is allow me to record however many seconds I put into that buffer. So say I have 2 seconds of memory allotted to my mic duration, that's what they call it in ChucK, and that means that I've stored 2 seconds of memory that I can write to and I can manipulate and use in any way I want. So that's the first thing you have to do. Next thing we want to do is let's make a really quick ChucK example that records your audio for 2 seconds and then it plays it back. So let's make that now. So let's go to make a loop. Let's make a while true loop. And inside this while true loop, we're going to first record the input of our mic, and then we're going to play it back. So you have to turn on the record feature of your LiSa object. So what we're going to do is ChucK1 to mic.record. This will turn on the recording feature of LiSa. Of course, nothing will be recorded unless we allow time to pass. So let's go ahead and give 2 seconds of time. And if you're unfamiliar with ChucK, this is how you pass time into it. You just basically you're saying, ChucK, wait for 2 seconds before we do the next thing. So our code, we record, or we turn on recording, and then we wait for 2 seconds. And now that we're done recording, let's turn off the recording. You can probably guess how this works. You just ChucK 0 to record. And now you have stored 2 seconds of audio. Every time this loop goes back to the beginning, it's going to record over the audio. So this is just one continuous loop that goes on forever. If we actually add the shred, it's going to record for 2 seconds, stop recording, and then record for 2 seconds and stop recording. But you'll never hear any sound because we haven't told it to play. We've just stored the samples into the buffer. I just want to be clear on that because this is really core to how audio works. Well, now we have these 2 seconds that are constantly being recorded. Let's extend our loop. So let's turn on playback. So this will automatically start at the beginning of the mic loop. So 1 to mic play, that turns on the playback, and we'll wait for 2 seconds, just like this. Wait for 2 seconds. And now we want to turn off playback. Oh, what's going on? Don't worry about that. So, now let's turn off playback. Sorry, that thing threw me off. Cool. So we have a loop that's going to record for 2 seconds. Then it will stop recording after those 2 seconds are over. It will turn on playback, wait for 2 seconds, and then turn off playback, and then it will repeat, record, 2 seconds, and so on. So let's go ahead and see how it sounds. So it's recording for 2 seconds, and yep, and that's pretty much what you expect. Cool. I'll get further into LiSa in the next tutorial, but this is the bare bones. This is the basic stuff. You understand this and you can do a lot with this. Alright, later.